You ever have one of those neighbors so entitled, so wildly unhinged, they make you question if moving to the suburbs was a terrible, terrible mistake? Yeah, that was me. My name's David Jenkins. I'm a software architect, mostly quiet, patient, methodical. I've dealt with clients who communicate solely through passive-aggressive emojis, and once debugged a 3-week memory leak that turned out to be caused by a rogue semicolon. So when I bought a little two-story on Primrose Path, I thought I was ready for anything nosy. Neighbors, the occasional loud dog, maybe someone passive-aggressively judging my mulch choices. What I got was the Prattworth family. They weren't neighbors. They were a reality TV show waiting for a production budget. Seal the dad lived in his hammock. I swear the man communicated through hammock squeaks. Penelope, the mom, well, she vibrated with the kind of energy that could power a small city if you hooked jumper cables to her heels. And Braden was their 20-year-old son, built like an undercooked baguette with sun-bleached hair, a spray tan that screamed accident, and the kind of confidence only possible when you've never faced real consequences. At first, it was minor. Braden borrowed my garden hose without asking, then left it curled like a python across my lawn. He kicked his football into my yard 6 times in 2 days, each time accompanied by a grinning whoops. Sorry, Mr. Jenkins, that somehow managed to sound both sarcastic and smug. I kept smiling. I was raised better. But I took notes. Oh yes, mental notes were piling up fast. Then came the pool. You see, Braden decided that my backyard, the very one I'd been designing into a peaceful Zen garden with a koi pond and a cherry tree, would be a perfect place for his pool. Not his pool in his yard. No, my yard. His pool. You follow? He showed up one afternoon half naked in lime green swim trunks dripping blue popsicle juice on my stone pavers and said, "Hey Jenkins, we're doing the pool." Just like that, like he was announcing a pizza delivery. I said, "Braden, this is my backyard. It's going to be a Zen garden. No pool. End of story." He didn't take that well. Called me selfish. Said I owed the neighborhood. Then, and I kid you not, he goes, "People like you should be grateful to be here." That's when the smile dropped from my face. Because that wasn't just entitled. That was racial. That was him, a clueless suburban white boy, telling me, a black man who worked his ass off to afford this house, that I owed him a luxury resort in my backyard. Still, I kept calm, because you don't win chess by flipping the board. A week later, he came back, this time fully clothed, holding a manila envelope like it was a nuclear code. Inside, cherry-picked wildly out of context emails from a job I'd left 10 years ago, a client complaint that had been resolved and closed. But he thought it was blackmail gold. He leaned in and said, "You build the pool, or this goes public." Now I could have thrown him out, called his bluff, but instead I smiled. "All right, Braden," I said, "let's talk pool." What followed was an Oscar-worthy performance on my part. I let Braden believe he'd won. Let him blabber on about swim-up bars and inflatable flamingos. Let Penelope draw up spreadsheets for Italian marble tiles and saltwater pH levels. I even let them host impromptu planning sessions on my patio while secretly recording every last word on a high-capacity voice recorder. Meanwhile, I collected evidence. I built a digital folder labeled Project Piranha, with audio files, mock-up screenshots, every absurd demand, and every racist or threatening comment they let slip. It was a slow roast, and I was basting the whole damn turkey. Then came the twist. One sweltering afternoon, I pretended to be doing permit research when Braden lost it. He'd been bragging to everyone about the grand opening of Prattworth Aquatic Center West Wing. And when he saw the rocks for my Zen garden being delivered instead of a backhoe, he blew a gasket. "Jenkins, what the hell is this?" he yelled across the fence. "You're building your stupid rock pile again." The shouting drew Penelope out. And Braden, in a moment of peak stupidity, let the truth fly. "I blackmailed him. Mom had to." He wasn't going to do it otherwise. You could hear the silence drop. Even the birds paused. Penelope's face went from pink to pale in 10 seconds flat. And then she exploded, not at me, not even really about the pool, but at the shame. Public, messy HOA gossip fodder shame. She screamed so loud her husband Seal actually rolled out of his hammock. I stood there silent, sipping lemonade while the Prattworth name imploded. The blackmail exposed, the evidence useless, my reputation untouched, their social standing vaporized. But I wasn't done. I sent a firm cease and desist letter. Then I built my Zen garden, properly. Hired the landscapers Braden had called too boring. Planted my cherry tree right where he wanted the diving board. And then I installed an 8-foot privacy fence, redwood-stained, beautiful, and utterly impenetrable. To top it off, I added a plaque facing only my side. It read, "Shoshin Sanctuary, find peace within." They got the message. Braden sent off to live with an aunt in Montana. Returned a year later with a dirt bike, a soul patch, and even less dignity than before. Penelope tried to spin the narrative into me being unstable until her own sister, Brenda Boddington, rolled into town. If Penelope was a scalpel, Brenda was a bulldozer. She barked at me across the lawn, threw half-eaten hot dogs over the fence, filed a complaint claiming my Zen moss was an invasive fungus named Aspergillus nefarious. I kid you not. The county inspector came by, took one look and said, "Sir, the only thing dangerous here is your neighbor's imagination." Brenda's grand finale. Framing me for stealing Penelope's sad-looking flower basket the night before the Oak Haven Heights flower show. She tossed petals into my yard at 2 a.m. like some weird gardening raccoon, then tipped off the committee. Only problem, security cameras. I showed the footage to the committee. Brenda's ninja escapade was caught in glorious 4K. Penelope was banned from the flower show. Brenda packed up her SUV bumper sticker, still screaming about anger issues, and left in disgrace. The final score, me Zen. Quiet, victorious. Them ruined reputations, dead begonias, and a backyard view of my beautiful cedar fence. So yeah, they wanted a pool. What they got was a masterclass in karma served cool, quiet, and koi-filled. Now every morning I sit beside my pond, sip tea, and listen to the breeze. And every so often, I swear I can hear Braden's soul patch crying, "Tell me, was I wrong to play the long game? Was this justice or just well-executed revenge?" Drop your thoughts below, because I know y'all got opinions on this one.